Okay, everybody, so I've been on this kind of walk here, and Jared and I have been kind of talking, and we've been actually talking about the abilities that God has given humanity. And I just kind of want to say to you that, we talk about how we only use 10% of our brain, and we don't have this other 90% access, but I actually disagree with that. And I really believe that the sages of old, the prophets of old, the teachers of old learned how to tap into the divinity that's within us. And so we were talking about form. We were talking about, well, we can't create a tree, but we can actually, I believe this, it's been proven in science that when intentions are lined up and people's minds are going with a specific direction, that they can actually change the form. So let's imagine if, like, I took this and I really wanted to take this branch, and let's say I wanted to change this branch. I believe that I've not learned yet how to tap into this other 90% of divinity that we've all been given. But if I could, if I wasn't afraid of that, if I didn't just see it as like, well, only God can do that, but we are stamped with God inside of us, I then think I could probably change it just by my intention, just by thinking about it. What do you think, Jared?
I believe there's very true possibility with it. You unlock the flow of energy, you unlock your potential within you, and who knows what possible. God said if they keep going on this track with the Tower of Babel, nothing will be impossible for them.
And so what I want to just kind of like encourage Christians, and I know this is kind of a little bit of a ranting here, but what I want to do to bring about this is, I think I'm learning more and more and more how much of divinity we actually have within ourselves. That we have like incredible amounts of divinity that are within us because we have been made in the image of God. If we've been made in the image of God, and it says that there are many other things that God did when he, manifested himself through the incarnation of Jesus, then what about us, is my question. What can we do with God's Spirit inside of us? And I don't mean self-serving. I don't mean like I'm going to be selfish with all this, but I believe that there's some truth to, when the Bible talks about Enoch was, and then Enoch wasn't. Well, where did Enoch go? What about all these monks and these different Christian mystics that talk to animals? It's documented. What about Christian mystics and different monks and different religions who were levitating? What is that? Well, Jesus himself manifested, right, amongst the disciples. I just don't see anything different with this. And I think we've kind of made ourselves very, very afraid of exploring the potential that we have within ourselves. And so I just want to encourage all Christians everywhere that you would be surprised. You use only 10% of your brain? Well, then what's the other 90% for? It's to explore the other avenues of possibility within the divine that God has given us. And we have a lifetime here on earth to do that, and then obviously after earth, because truly we are immortal beings. We are not mortal. Our body dies, but our spirit continues to live on. And so the journey and the process of learning how to access the divine within us is an incredible, incredible experience. And I know of a man who lived with divine health. He was never sick. He never had any struggles with anything. And people go, wow, look at that. That's amazing. All he had done was he had learned to tap into the God of abundant life. He'd learned how to tap into the God inside of him, the God part in him, and it manifested in his body as divine health. And he's known for never being sick. There are countless stories. And I think we relegate it too much to one specific area because we're afraid to explore that potential. We're afraid to say that, well, what if maybe we get proud with it? Oh no. To me, exploring this other 90% and this possible journey for me makes me more excited to get to know God, to get to know what God has really put inside of us. So that's all I have to say, folks. Have a good day.